Certain case of a man whose name few would ever hear, and even then, only under very particular circumstances. To encounter his name was to stand at a crossroads, an intersection of intellect and judgment, where reason clashed with something more ineffable. His name was Silvio Arturio. I had only recently heard the story myself, mentioned offhandedly by an acquaintance over a rare form of aquavit. We sat on a rooftop, the city sprawled below us, a playground of dim lights and uncertain boundaries. Jeffrey, a man I barely knew, had become an unexpected conversational partner in the past few weeks. What began as a casual discussion of philosophy had turned into a murky labyrinth of ideas, where neither of us could determine whether we were peeling away truth or simply exposing our own inadequacies. I was here only temporarily, completing an observational requirement for an emergency care course, 1,700 miles from home, thrown into a new rhythm of days that blurred together. And today, for the first time, I had seen a man die. A brutal traffic accident. His face turned inside out, his chest torn open, his heart exposed in its last numbered moments. There was nothing to do but catalogue the scene, a silent witness to inevitability. And then, like all things, it faded into the past, absorbed by the hum of the city. "Nothing more to circumstance," Jeffrey muttered as he poured himself another glass. I turned toward him, trying to shake off the lingering image of the dead man. "What do you mean?" "The fact that a person could be intelligent enough to see potential before it even existed, before it excited the fabric of visible strings." He swirled the glass. "It implies something beyond mere observation. It's a song that writes itself from universal code." I frowned. "You're talking about Silvio now?" Jeffrey smirked, his eyes glazed with just enough liquor to loosen his tongue. "They couldn't prosecute him." "Prosecute?" I leaned in. "You see, it wasn't Silvio's fault that he was too intelligent. The real question was whether he was a gift from the devil." He set his glass down with a deliberate clink, letting the words settle in the air. Silvio Arturio was a high-level mathematician, born in 1912, though his country of origin was obscure, either lost to time or hidden deliberately. He wasn't famous, not in the way of mainstream scientists, but in certain circles, his name carried weight. An eerie, whispered weight. "The deaths stacked up around him," Jeffrey continued, "but not in any conventional way. Silvio's equations, his notes, predicted them. Exact times, exact places, exact people. At first, they thought it was a fluke, some bizarre statistical coincidence. But it kept happening, over and over again. I felt the air shift around us. The record player at the edge of the rooftop scratched out an old flamenco tune, warping slightly in the night heat. "They tried to charge him, of course," Jeffrey said, "but there was nothing, no evidence, just numbers, equations scrawled in notebooks that no one could understand, no murder weapon, no direct involvement, just the math." I exhaled slowly, my mind trying to grasp the implications. "And the trial?" Jeffrey chuckled, shaking his head. "That's the thing, he walked free. They couldn't pin a crime on a theory, on an algorithm. But then," he leaned forward, lowering his voice, "he disappeared." The city below us flickered, green lights bouncing, trapped in their own loop. One day he was giving a lecture on higher dimensional topologies, and the next, gone. No records, no sightings, no body, just erased. I looked down at my empty glass, feeling something nameless settle in my chest. "What do you think happened to him?" Jeffrey smirked, his gaze unfocused. "Some say he went underground, others—" He paused, letting the words hang. "Others say the universe finally caught up with him." I didn't respond. I just watched the lights shift below us, wondering if somewhere, on some forgotten scrap of paper, in some half-erased equation, my own fate had already been written.